to our channel. Last week, my wife spoke with you guys. I was also behind the camera, but today she is the one behind the camera. So.
Hello!
So today I just wanted to explain a little bit about the new job, because I got a job and that's why we had to move from our previous city to our new city right now. We're still trying to explore the place. I've been quite busy with my job, and so I haven't had the time to explore. But yeah, it's a bigger city, like my wife said. It's called Karlsruhe, and it's close to Stuttgart and also close to Heidelberg. And yeah, that's where we live right now. And I want to tell you guys a little bit about how I got this job and how it is like to get a job in Germany as an English speaker, or yeah, as an international, because it's not very easy to get a job in Germany, especially when you can't speak the language. And so it was a process for us, and I'll be lying to say it was very easy, you know, like everything went well and I got a job, because right now I have a job as a web developer, which means I get to work with programs like or languages like HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and also PHP as regarding WordPress. So those of you that are web developers, you understand what I'm saying. So I'm more like a front-end developer, and that's the job I got. But how I got this job, it's a whole other story, because I studied in the US. I studied communication, so I got my BA in the US in visual arts, and so that was a good thing, because I didn't have to go through the German education system again to get a job, because I'm originally from Nigeria, and certificates from most African countries are not recognized in Germany. So what that means is that once you move to Germany, you almost have to start from scratch in order to be able to work in Germany. So first step, learn the language, which I had to do for almost a year. Was it almost a year? Yeah, because I had to do...
It was a year.
Yeah, so I had to attend school and write the exam, so I had to dedicate time for that. Because without that, without that, it's almost impossible. I wouldn't say it's impossible, because there are people that got a job without a language, but that is an exception. Mostly, you cannot, or it's very difficult to get a job without a language, so I had to dedicate time for that. You might be asking, how can I get a job in Germany? How can I work in Germany? How is it like working in Germany? Because right now I work in Germany and I work with Germans, which means that I have to speak the language all day, write the language, speak with clients sometimes in the language. Thank God I program in English, because the programming language is mostly in English, and that's good. That's good. The number one priority for everyone that wants to work in Germany is to learn the language, and it will take time. And it will seem impossible at the beginning. Imagine, I did all my life, I studied in English, I lived in the US, in Nigeria the official language is English. I never ever dreamt that I will have to be in a position where I'll have to learn a new language as difficult as German, and also have to work with the language. But hey, got married to a German, that comes with the territory. And so when we decided to move to Germany, we knew that was what would I say, a challenge or a hurdle that we had to cross. Like it was unavoidable. You cannot avoid it. And so you just have to embrace it. And I'm not gonna lie to you and tell you, oh, it's gonna be easy, you know. Like the first year or 2 or 3 is gonna be just sewing and hard work and sometimes frustration, and you might be close to give up, because it almost feels like nothing is working, and you can't really blend in because you can't speak the language, which is like the number one barrier. But it doesn't last forever. I'm here to tell you, it doesn't last forever. If you just keep pushing and doing what you need to do, it doesn't last forever. A point will come when the things that looked impossible will begin to get easier. But do not be discouraged at the beginning or at the early point. And it's not for the faint-hearted. You have to be strong and be like, hey, I need to push through. Like nothing. Like there are people that have done it before you and have succeeded. And so you can succeed also. I also know people that had to leave Germany because it was too much, like too much stress. So I applied for a job. I just applied in the whole region because before I applied just in the region I was staying, and so I wasn't getting any reply. Just bunch of rejections, like no, 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 sorry, no, no, sorry.
Yeah, or you were too
Yeah.
overqualified.
Or they would say I was overqualified, or
Yes.
maybe they wouldn't give any reason for rejecting my application.
Exactly.
It was frustrating. Like, I don't know how many rejections I got. And that was enough to, to make me give up or make anyone give up. And so I was like, okay, since I can get a job in this region, I'm going to try to apply in a broader region. So I applied a bit farther from where we lived. So yeah, so after I applied to a broader region, I got a call. I wasn't expecting to get a call so fast because I had received a lot of rejections. And so she was asking me, because she was seeing on my application form that I lived a bit farther from where the working place is. And she was like, hey, what do you plan to do in case you get the job? And I was like, hey, we plan to move. So if I get the job, we'll move. And she's like, okay, we'd like to invite you for your interview. So they invited me for my interview. It's called, in German, it's called Vorstellungsgespräch. And I had to do that in German. Although I just had a B1 level, B1 level German knowledge. And so I was so nervous. I had to go through a lot of YouTube videos, and my wife can be a witness that I had to ask her a lot of questions.
Oh yeah, we were preparing.
We're trying to prepare so much because one thing about me is like, it's either I am perfect or I don't do it at all. So I have this issue where I like to be perfect in everything that I do.
Perfectionist.
And sometimes, I like to be the best at what I do. And so I went for the interview, and it was quite easy going. It wasn't as complicated or difficult as I thought. And so they asked me to come and do my Probearbeit, my tryout. Probearbeit is the German word for tryout. So
tryout day.
Tryout day. It's a tryout day. So the whole day you work, and they see if they want to take you. And so I went off my tryout. I was expecting to work with WordPress because I have more experience with WordPress. But then I had to do some coding with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, blah, 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 blah. And so I wasn't expecting to do that. Although I had some experience in that, I was expecting to work more with WordPress. And so it was a bit of a challenge. And so I had to go back and refresh my memory. I had to, remind myself again of those languages and get used to it, because I discovered that I would have to work with those languages more often in the new working place, more than I would, work with WordPress. And so it was challenging, but also a very, very good push for me, because now I had to strengthen myself in an area where I hadn't focused on in a while, So they liked me. They wanted to go with me. Actually, they wanted to go with me immediately, but I decided to take a break and do my B2 before I go start the job. So this interview happened in August. Was it in August or September? September.
No, it happened all in August, and in September we got.
So that was last year. Last year, August. It happened.
Have that in mind that he started studying in January, February the language.
So yeah, January last year I started my language course.
So 2018.
2018. I finished my B1 in July. And so I applied for the job also in July.
In August.
In August I had my interview. And they wanted me to start in October.
Yes, exactly.
And so I also wanted to do the B2 course, which started also in October. So I had to ask for permission to post the job till January this year, so that I would be able to do the B2 course, because I wanted to also improve my language level so I can be more productive at the working place. But I also needed more time for us to plan and move.
And I think personally that made a really, really good impression on them, because you you kind of showed them that you really, really want this job, and for that you willing to step forward and say, okay,
Yeah.
hey, I'm going to study for another while
Like,
or
yeah,
another months
yeah.
again.
Because normally nobody would push a job because they want to have a course, or they want to do a course. Once you get a job, just yes, now I start now. But I think for them it was quite impressive for them that I decided that instead of starting a job that would give me money instantly, I still wanted to improve myself and get better in the language, which makes Germans feel happy that you're willing to integrate and you're willing to advance yourself. Because working in Germany is not very easy. They have a very high level of excellence, and things can be a bit more complicated than in other countries. So you have to be prepared, and they also have to see that you're willing to improve yourself, whether improve yourself even when there's money coming or not. It's actually a very good thing to show them. And so I started working this year. After we moved, my wife told you about the move, it was crazy. I started working this year. And it's a good feeling to have a job, to actually see yourself progressing, and to see yourself blending in and integrating things that seem so impossible and difficult at the beginning. You know, as a man of the house, as a husband, you want to be the provider. And since we got married, my wife has mostly been responsible because she has been the only one that could work, because she's German, she knows the language and other languages, and she's a great worker. And so she was the one that was mainly the provider. I did some odd jobs here and there, but she was the main provider. And now I'm the main provider, and she has a job on the side, you know. And it feels good to be the one, you know, providing, you know, and to, you know, leave the stereotypes that, you know, mostly Africans come to Europe to, you know, just as opportunists, and they don't want to work, and they leave off of other people, and they just want to take from the system. It feels good to be the provider of my home and to be able to give back into the system. I would say I feel a bit more independent right now, because having a job helps you a little bit to be independent financially. And it's almost like a reward for all the stuff that I had to go through last year.
The suffering and all
the pressure, all the courses, all the frustration. It's almost like I'm beginning to reap a little bit from what I sowed last year. It's also good. No, not I mean, yeah. For the past years, you know, everything that I've invested, I'm actually beginning to reap, and I thank God for the opportunity, because not everybody gets to do that, and I'm very grateful to God, because I believe that it is His favor upon my life that has made me to succeed in almost everything I do in Germany.
That's true.
Like it doesn't, like in my language school, I was a success. You know, in a lot of things that I did, I succeeded. I had favor upon my life.
By success people, he means he was one of the best. He was actually the best in his class. So just to mention that he's not only been like a success in school, he was the best in school. So there again, you can see he's a perfectionist. But it's okay. I'm too. So we make a good match.
So yeah, it's been crazy, and yeah, it's almost like this year is a new chapter for us, and we are very excited to see what we have, like what is in store for us this year. We have a lot of plans this year, and we'll be sharing with you. One of the plans is to go to Nigeria, and she's excited to go to Nigeria.
Hey.
And we'll also share that with you too.
It's good.
And that's what I just wanted to share with you guys, so you know that no matter what you're going through, if you're living in Germany and you just came into Germany and everything looks so complicated and difficult, it is possible for you to get to a place where you're a bit more rested, comfortable. It's possible. It's possible. It's not easy. But it's possible. And for you guys that have been in Germany for a long time, you know what I'm talking about, because now you're in a place where it's not as complicated as it used to be before. You know.
Just like a tip, I think for us, it helped us to surround ourselves with good people. Like to surround yourself with people that know, that you know, okay, they have been going through a lot of things and they're not there right now in their lives because of chance or because of anything. They fought for it.
Yeah.
And knowing that somebody else succeeded,
it helps you to succeed also.
Exactly.
Like seeing the story of other people, because I met some other people, you know, here that had been here for a while, and that also encouraged me that if they could make it, I could also make it. Like Germans are different from Americans. I lived in America and people are mostly friendly, you know, like they look friendly because they're very, very nice in the way they treat you, but sometimes there is no real friendship in there. But with Germans, they're very hard on the outside. It takes time to get to know them. But when you get to know them, you build real connections and real friendships. And so it is taking time. But just like every other thing, I will overcome it. And it will come to a time when I will have more connections and relationships. And yeah, just whatever you're going through right now, it is temporary. And no matter how difficult it looks like, you can overcome it. If you have any question as regards working in Germany, living in Germany, or whatever that you think I can answer, just ask us in the comment section. And do not forget to subscribe to our channel.
Oh yeah, and check out our Instagram. We're trying to really build that up.
So yeah, in the description below, you're going to see the link to our Instagram. It is at Ebony and Ruth. Simple. Yes. So you can follow us on Instagram and subscribe to the channel and just support us.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. I need to run the video now before the video gets too long. But yeah, we'll see you guys in the next video. Have a wonderful week.